It is bright and colorful. I mean, right away that hits you. But it's such a to use an overused phrase, cool space, right?
Awesome.
For not only your employees, but for people like me coming to visit. I get to be in a building from 1929 that's wood paneling and all of that. Usually municipal buildings are very conservative, and it's nice to be in a space that's bright, that's warming, inviting, and colorful, and cutting edge, right? And I think that's probably the things that represent your company as well.
But you're actually thinking like a business owner, like you're kind of treating Hamilton like the CEO and thinking, how can I make the economy better? And you're thinking from a CEO mentality, which is great.
Sure. So the best part of my job is interacting with people in the community. It lifts me up, right? I mean, seeing your smiling faces, it makes my day just better.
So welcome to yet another episode of Micronetbd podcast. Today we have our respected Mayor of Hamilton. Would you like to introduce yourself, Mayor?
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me here today. It's an honor and a pleasure. My name's Jeff Martin, Mayor of Hamilton, just starting my 5th year as mayor, and really got the opportunity to take a tour today of Micronetbd. It was our business of the week, I guess about 2 months ago or so, and really honored and privileged to be with you all this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Give us your first impression when you first came into Micronetbd.
It is bright and colorful. I mean, right away that hits you. But it's such a to use an overused phrase, cool space, right?
Awesome.
For not only your employees, but for people like me coming to visit. I get to be in a building from 1929 that's wood paneling and all of that. Usually municipal buildings are very conservative, and it's nice to be in a space that's bright, that's warming, inviting, and colorful, and cutting edge, right? And I think that's probably the things that represent your company as well.
Yes. Awesome. Yes, George.
Yeah.
Also, let me introduce you. We have as usual, as you guys know him, we have George, our CEO of Micronetbd with us, and he's going to be reintroducing himself once again. George, if you want to go ahead.
Sure. I'm George Ayub, CEO of Micronet. The Micronet as a company, as most of you know, was formed in Hamilton, New Jersey in 2012, and it took off since then. It's 100% conceptualized, formed, and raised in Hamilton, New Jersey. So it's a great honor to have the mayor of Hamilton visiting us in the office. And Mayor Jeff Martin, I would love to say that I love your policies, what you're doing with the town. The Hamilton, New Jersey businesses, you're focusing on the businesses, small, medium businesses. That's the core of the economy. And you're trying to put the companies on the map, which is great. We kind of do the same for our clients in a way through digital marketing and sales and marketing systems to help raise awareness for our clients so they can market to other businesses. So you're doing it from a political leadership where creating awareness for businesses in Hamilton, which is we don't that often get political support as a business. So the New Jersey is very happy to have a supportive mayor who is actually helping the businesses that creates the employment. Like we created 15 plus employment just here in New Jersey.
Right.
And so, thank you for your support.
No, absolutely. And thank you, George. And thanks for the appreciation. We think back to March 2020, right? And we looked around at each other and, under order from the governor, businesses had to close their doors, right? And you had to be 6 feet apart. And we were worried about what that meant for many of our small businesses, businesses that donate to nonprofits or sponsor soccer teams or baseball teams, right? Or all sorts of contributions to the local economy. And that's how this all started, right? With having a business of the week, with promoting small and medium businesses, because they, as you said, are the backbone of a community, the backbone of the economy. And we were worried of what happens if we lose them. And thankfully, I think to both luck and good work, we didn't really lose any. But it was a scareful time, as I'm sure it was for you all back then too.
Yes, for sure.
For sure. Yes.
Yeah, our clients were especially we have some accountants based out of Red Bank. They handle a lot of elderly American population,
And so those guys are not used to doing things online. So they would physically walk into an accountant's office to do their taxes, etc. And so we had to get very creative on how we can support clients who are totally office based, supporting people who are not used to using online. And so during COVID, we not only as a company, we had to face the challenge of how do we support our clients while being remote, but also we had to help our clients do it. So
Sure.
it was a challenging time, and we actually grew, doubled our business during COVID.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and it shows you were learning and then educating as you were
Yes.
learning too, right?
Yes.
Which is a crazy thing, but I think it shows the leadership, right, and the employees that you
Yes.
have here, that everybody approached it well and accomplished the mission too.
Yeah, like we were lucky to have employees because they were all trained internally and learned internally, so they were all responsible. So I didn't have to worry about, okay, are they going to do the work, etc., because they were already used to working as a team. The cohesiveness was there. Now, when you have a brand new team, you're trying to build remote, that's challenging. But we had a team that already worked in person.
Mhm.
They were a team already and friends. So it was like, if I don't do my job, I'm going to be hurting another friend who's responsible for the next step. So they kind of did and then clients also like them. So like, okay, if I don't do this, I'm going to hurt, this client. So I need to do my job. So everyone kind of were responsible.
Awesome.
They knew others were counting on them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like George mentioned, Marjev, we are very, very encouraged by your presence here. What I could say is, small sands makes a big island, right?
Mhm.
So for business in New Jersey, small businesses are also equally important than the large businesses. But what made you think, if I want to ask you, that okay, I should go and support these small businesses so that all other small businesses get encouraged? Like, what came in your mind to support small businesses like us, even though we are like growing, but having your presence here and having your support, which is it means a lot to us. It's really encouraging for us. So what makes you actually take that step and come over here and showing your presence and encouraging us?
Sure. So the best part of my job is interacting with people in the community. It lifts me up, right? I mean, seeing your smiling faces, it makes my day just better. Joining us behind the camera is Kate Kane, who's the head of our economic development office, right? We had a great day 2 Fridays ago. We did 2 ribbon cuttings, one in the morning and one in the evening, right?
Amazing.
One for a store and the other for a new restaurant in town. And so it's really uplifting. And the more we are out, I see myself as a cheerleader
Yes.
for the community,
Really
right?
there.
There are tough days, right?
Yeah,
When
course.
you're CEO or no matter what your position is with a company, same as me. But when you're out and excited and talking and collaborating, it just makes everything better. And sometimes I learn so much about companies, I'm able to then connect them. I'm able to build
Yes.
bridges where
Yeah.
maybe they didn't know about another business in town that is facing an obstacle that they may need your help on, or vice versa, right?
Right,
And
exactly.
so I always say a rising tide lifts all ships, right?
Yeah.
And so the hope is all our small businesses and medium businesses do well together, and it just uplifts the town even more.
And you're thinking in a problem-solving way, like the way we would think in the business world. It's rare, and I'm being dead honest. Like, it's rare to see politicians actually thinking like a problem solver. Like, because most politicians are like try to blame others or something, but you're actually thinking like a business owner. Like, you're kind of treating Hamilton like the CEO and thinking, how can I make the economy better? And you're thinking from a CEO mentality, which is great. And I just want to mention, since Kate's name came out, she's excellent. Like, I've dealt with her over the email many times, and she is really awesome. Like,
Thanks to her.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
We appreciate it.
Besides being my neighbor, she's also great for the township as well. But she's done a phenomenal job. And, I joke sometimes with her. We interviewed her in, I think it was like January 2020. We had this whole thing of here's what we're going to do. And then 2 months later, we ripped up that playbook and said, okay, never mind. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to keep businesses in town rather than just grow them. And
often we saw that, Mayor, sorry to interrupt if I did. Often we see that small businesses, medium businesses always get overlooked. Right? They're like always, okay, these are small people, like, we shouldn't be like worrying about them. Let's just worry about the big ones. But like I said, like I mentioned,
small businesses, medium businesses are equally important for the economy, and not many politicians or many people, because they always look for exposure, they try to go for the big ones. But since you are doing it for the small businesses, and you mentioned that you just cut ribbons for 2 small businesses last week, it means a lot to us, and we really, really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you something. So you came out of the military and you're a lawyer, and you had a successful on the legal sector and came into politics. We actually, the reason I bring it up, one of our main client base is the legal sector.
Our major clients,
Major like personal injury, workers' comp, mass tort. We have law firms mostly all over the country. In New Jersey, we were at Pennsylvania too. We have clients. Yes. New Jersey, we were lacking. I think we recently signed one client out of New Jersey. Brandon Broderick,
Brandon
right?
and Broderick.
So they recently became a client for solving one of their problems. But in the legal sector, we started embracing AI big time. Like whenever intakes are getting created, qualifying them, during the intake process, turning them into a matter. So we are embracing AI big time to solve that legal space. Now, just like, so you'll understand this. So just like legal space, we're doing that for other spaces as well, in embracing AI to make the qualifying of the prospects better, run the operations of the cases or whatever vertical it is. Real estate, we also begin with better. So from a Hamilton, New Jersey perspective, now with the embrace of large language models, so many different models coming out, I see like a lot of businesses, even physicians are still like scanning papers and stuff. So they're behind in the technology. Do you have any plans to promote local clients? Like most of our clients are all over the United States, but I don't see too many local clients embracing the best technology that's, large clients are embracing. So do you have any plans down the road to promote large language models or usage of AI in the local businesses?
So I'd say, AI is something everybody hears about and kind of hears about on the news, right? But then they're especially small businesses, they're worried about making their day-to-day. They're worried about making payroll. They're not necessarily in a position to think 2, 3, 4 years ahead. And with AI, it's not even that many years. It could be 2, 3, 4 months ahead, right?
Exactly. Right.
So I think that's the biggest challenge I think a lot of our small businesses are seeing, right? I think speaking as an attorney, so many of us are used to being in a courtroom, right? We went to law to logically solve problems, but not necessarily to be business people and think strategically that way, right? So it's a step out of the comfort zone. Same for doctors, right? You go through 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of medical school, then maybe specialty and all that kind of stuff, right? Residency. You're not thinking as a business person on what's the most cost efficient way to do this. You're thinking, all right, I got to test them for flu or strep throat or COVID, right? Like, that's kind of where the thinking is. So I think a lot of small businesses that way have that disadvantage, where they don't necessarily have a strategic chief strategy officer almost on the payroll to think now in that sense, right? Which is where I think you all come in and trying to promote that and saying, we can almost be that for you and think of some models for you kind of thing.
Exactly. Like we actually, when we formed, like that was our concept for, solving micro business problems. Like we were trained on a macro $1 billion companies, but then we said, okay, now tools are inexpensive enough and we have our knowledge, so we can help small businesses kind of without, spending their arms and legs. They can get the similar technologies the big guys are using and take advantage of it. For example, like we recently, today we had a call with the largest law firms, not going to mention name, but they're using the best and the brightest technologies versus, let's say, a small law firm who may not be, but then it's not that much expensive for us to say, sit down with an attorney saying, okay, what is how do you handle your intakes, right? And okay, I have 5 people working on this. Okay, how can we digitize that? And maybe if someone's getting in an accident, they message you and AI takes out all the necessary information, responds back, right? So then the small business kind of can operate 24/7 that big guys are able to, that we are helping them. And the cost of setting it up and managing it isn't that much now, especially with economic of scale. We're able to, even a small attorney's office or small doctor's office versus large ones, there is a huge, I think technology is a huge equalizer, because before you had to have a huge SAP system or huge servers to, embrace technology or largely now anybody can do it for a very small budget.
Sure. I mean, you think about 3D printers. I go into our local school district and they have 3D printers in the school. 10, 15 years ago, a school district could not afford a 3D printer, right?
Yeah.
But now that technology is down in cost that anybody can get it, right? And the same as what you guys are providing to your clients too.
Yes,
exactly. So when I visit different businesses, when I see a lot of manual process, it drives me crazy. I'm like, you can do this so much better. A lot of times people who are doing it for a while are resistant towards change, but I'm like, I just had a call with your competition. They're doing this, but I'm not going to say exactly, but if you don't do this, you're going to be behind. And as a small business, at some point, either you're going to law firms. I think still law firms cannot be acquired. I think it can be merged, whatever. But it's if you don't embrace, someone else is going to take over.
Yeah.
I have one more question to you, Mayor. So like Hamilton, what I see in Hamilton, we have a lot of advantages in Hamilton. If you want to open a small business, or if you want to open any business per se, we have one of the greatest universities right by in Princeton. It's Ivy League college. Princeton is there. So if we have anything built in Hamilton, any technical or anything which is really great built in Hamilton, I guess it would be really easy to have all these Ivy League students and have them, started their internship or as their first work from Hamilton itself, since it's like really close by, like 15-20 minutes maybe, I would say. So how could we encourage small businesses to come to Hamilton, build their businesses in Hamilton, and also get the help from the mayor yourself as well as the government to have more businesses come to Hamilton and make the Hamilton more prosperous? What did you think?
Sure.
Of that?
So we've been lucky. We have Princetel, which is a fiber optics company. It's owned, founded by Barry Zhang, who's a Princeton graduate, right? Immigrated from China when he went to school. That's just one example of somebody who was at Princeton, studied at Princeton, and then opened their business here in Hamilton.
Hamilton, yes.
So he's the poster boy, excuse me.
Need to meet him one day.
For that, right? You've got yourselves, right? Not growing up in New Jersey, right? But you picked Hamilton because you've got that brain power nearby between Rutgers and Princeton. You even got TC&J, Rider, other four-year institutional schools between New York and Philly, right?
Yes.
So we've got that great advantage of being here. And I think it's not just Hamilton. You see it across Mercer County, right?
Yes.
With a lot of the pharmaceutical companies and things like that, because they're able to draw from those schools. They're able to draw from New York and Philly. Hamilton has the train station. It's got the turnpike that runs through it, 295 and 195 that runs through it. So we really have all those strategic advantages. I think so much of it is just opening eyes to people here, Trenton, and kind of know what Trenton is, but they don't realize that Hamilton's immediately next door, right? And can often provide. Mayor Gassior in Trenton is a friend of mine, so I hate to bash his city, but we provide some things that the city can't, right?
Right.
Or same as Princeton, right? You're going to get Princeton's rents are higher than Hamilton's, right? You go 10 minutes outside Princeton, it's still super convenient for your employees, but now you're getting able to do it at a more cost-efficient price, right?
Exactly.
Which helps them build the business and let it grow organically as well. So some of it is just advertisement and outreach, right?
Yes.
To people like that. That's where somebody like Kate comes along and being involved in the Princeton Mercer Regional Chamber and other business groups like that, so that people know about Hamilton, know of Hamilton, and want to move here
want to move here. That's what we are also trying to approach people with, that you need to move here. It's really there's a great potential to be in Hamilton, have their business, and also work here. So George, if you want to add something.
So
let me ask you, how did you choose Hamilton actually?
Well, because I was managing a Salesforce technical side for Billtrust, which at that time was $20 million company, but now it's it went public, then went private. It's a multi-million-dollar company now, but it's they were in Jamesburg. So I used to commute from New York, Staten Island, and then when Billtrust moved to Hamilton, it became too far for me to commute. So I ended up moving to Hamilton and ended up liking it. And both my children were born in Hamilton, and we ended up just staying and opening business here, and great town to be. Now, only thing I think some people are hesitant towards moving to Hamilton is because I think the postal code, something needs to be fixed because
Yes.
because houses
Still shows
come
up
up
Trenton, right?
Trenton, yeah,
It comes from
and
Trenton.
they're like, oh, is that Trenton or Hamilton? I'm like, no, it's Hamilton. But then we have to explain that every time. So
in the map, it also shows
Yeah.
Trenton all the time when
Oh,
you
yeah.
go past through Hamilton.
and nothing against Trenton, but
Yeah.
when people see Trenton, they get turned off. So they mistakenly misidentify the town, and we have to kind of educate them. No, that's not Trenton. It's a nice neighborhood. It's Hamilton.
Yeah. No, it's something I know. Robbinsville, right? We sit on the border of Robbinsville right here. Their zip code for a long time, up until about 2 years ago, was showing up as Trenton too.
Yeah.
Right. And they
Oh,
were having
wow.
some of those same issues. But I think also going back to your question too, right? Hamilton's 90,000 people. It's the 9th largest by population in the state, right? But what
Mhm.
makes it so great is its diversity as well.
Yeah.
Because I think not just Hamilton, but Mercer County is really a growing area. It's a diverse area, right?
Yep.
And not just on physical or your individual background, right? But depending, if you want to live close to the train, we have condos and townhomes right
Exactly.
next to a train station. If you
Yeah.
want acres of property, we have
It's
a
there.
rural area
Yes.
here in Hamilton. If you just want the small suburban house that's got the white picket fence, you've got that as well, right?
Mhm.
But all at affordable prices. So no matter kind of what price point you're at, you've got something that's available to you, or
Exactly.
for you to recruit employees, right? Hey,
Yep.
there's close condos nearby or apartments nearby that are
Yeah.
nice. They're brand new. They're affordable.
Yeah.
They're 5-10 minutes to your office.
And low crime. Like Hamilton
Oh,
has
yeah.
very low crime.
Very low crime.
Yes. And that's a tribute to our police department and all the officers there, right? Who are
Yeah.
out there each and every day, keeping Hamilton safe as well.
Yes.
Right. And you need that. You want people to feel safe here. You want people to know they're welcome here.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, the police are great. One time my son had a little bit allergy and we didn't realize he had a cashew nut allergy. And I like cashew nut. And he ate one, then his throat started, and then those cops rushed in and they helped, and he was fine afterwards.
Oh, wow.
But they came in, they helped, they were so I mean they were so human. Like
You could tell they cared.
yeah,
They cared.
yeah, they
Yeah.
cared, and it's very refreshing. Like, I think we in Hamilton we have a really good police department. Like they're very good.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Want
mean,
to feel safe.
our police officers, our firefighters, they
Yeah.
don't join, right?
Yeah.
To make $1 million. They join
Yes.
to help their community.
Help
Yeah.
the community.
Because they care about the community. They want to keep it safe.
Yeah.
So many of our fire calls aren't fire, they're EMS calls, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And both of them are always generally interacting with people in their worst moments.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so they understand the compassion side of that they have to have that compassionate for when
Exactly.
somebody's going
Everyone,
through that.
yeah, from EMS to police officer, everyone was just trying to help Ismail, and I was just blown away. Like, what we would have done if we didn't have that support.
Shout
Absolutely.
out to all the firefighters and the cops who are actually keeping us safe.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, they never do it for the money. They do it for serving the people and feeling kind of spiritually encouraged in themselves. So really appreciate their help. So I would like to just summarize the whole conversation, George. If you have anything to ask
Yeah,
the mayor.
I would love to be able to use our technological success
Mhm.
in helping businesses in Hamilton, small businesses. So if I would like to offer, like, if small businesses want us to look at their business process, architect a solution for them, we'll be happy to do that. Maybe give 5 to 10 hours of professional services at no charge. If they're part of Hamilton Township.
Yeah. So we've got a great organization. It's called, we've got 2 organizations. One's called the Hamilton Partnership. They're both private organizations.
Yeah.
Hamilton Partnership is a Hamilton-based, almost like mini chamber of commerce, right? It's
Mhm.
for our larger businesses.
Mhm.
But a subset of that is Shop Hamilton. Shop
Oh.
Hamilton's are smaller businesses, right? Your
Mhm.
Main Street businesses, things
Mhm.
like that. Kate King can get you in touch with the executive directors of both, right? And
Sure.
we can invite you to a meeting to give a quick pitch, right? On here's what we do, here's how we can help, right? And we're even willing to do, for 1 or 2 of you, a few hours just pro bono, right? And then let it go from there organically. But again, it goes towards those organizations existed before me, right? But
Yes,
that's where the constant meetings, the constant networking
it's very important.
again, if it wasn't for the business of the week, Kate and I might not know about Micronetbd
Right.
to then have those secondary conversations, right? So
Exactly.
again, that's that rising tide lifting all ships here.
And really appreciate you taking the initiative, because normally I wouldn't even know how to approach you. to even suggest, hey, we're having success with these medium, large, small companies out of the US, but I see that our local Hamilton businesses are not embracing the next level technology that's going to affect them, not now, but 2 years later, their business will start going down if they don't change something now. And we can definitely help, but I would have had no ways to reach you if you hadn't had this program in place.
Yep.
Sure thing. I guess, George, our name would justify more if we actually start helping all these local businesses, micro businesses in Hamilton. Then we can proudly say that we are Micronetbd. We are here to develop the micro businesses.
Yeah.
Yes.
So on that note, if you have anything to say, any comments or any suggestion for us, that would be really appreciative.
No, I just want to thank you guys for embracing what we're doing in the township, for inviting Kate and I here today. It's been an honor to be with you, to learn about you, your employees individually, but as a company, to meet your kids, right? I hope your daughter's got a lot to present on for school tomorrow. I know she got a pass day today, but it really is the uplifting part of my job to meet the people who make up Hamilton and to make Hamilton really America's favorite hometown that way.
Thank you so much. And the feeling is really mutual. Mayor, you came here. It is really appreciating and really encouraged us. And thank you so much once again. And also Kate for bringing Mayor, and thank you.
So you were a real life Jag, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
So I watched that show like growing up, and
so it's not exactly like the Shine and Fly planes or anything like that, but
Harmon Drab, real world.
The courtroom stuff was pretty accurate
That's
way,
pretty
right?
accurate.
So I got to I was in England all 4 years. My last 2 years, I traveled mostly around Europe doing cases where other airmen were getting in trouble, right? Whether they were trying to be discharged or court-martialed or whatever. And so I loved it. And my wife, then fiance, now wife, she had her job here. She said, come back to New Jersey. So that's what I did. But I love my time in the airport.
Nice. And you grew up in New Jersey?
I grew up in New Jersey. I grew up in Edison, which is about a half hour north of here, right? And that's why I said I never thought I'd be mayor, let alone mayor of Hamilton. Because I lived in Edison my whole life. Even when I got out of the Air Force, my wife and I got an apartment in Edison while we looked for a place to live. So
lots of Indian restaurants there, by the way.
Oh, I think a few of them, right? Just a few of them. But growing up out of state, right? You never thought you'd be CEO probably of a company in Hamilton, New Jersey. I never thought I'd be mayor of Hamilton, New Jersey. But if you do a good job at each step of the way, which is what I was trying to tell your daughter, you never know what doors will open and where life will take you.
So will we see you as maybe a governor of New Jersey at some point?
I don't think that's in the cards for me. You never know, right? But look, you've got two little ones. I've got one little one. It's a lot to balance all of that, right? And so, you know, last week I was taking some days off because my little one was sick, and she's back to school now and playing with her friends and all that kind of stuff, right? But you've got that balance that if you're governor, if you're president, you don't have that same balance in your life.
Family comes first.
So to me, that's where my focus is right now. For
sure. But we would love to see a problem solver like yourself who actually knows how to solve a problem, not just, you know, empty political words, in a more higher role like a governor or maybe higher senator. Wow. So hopefully you keep that in cards at some point.
Thank
Once
you.
the little one becomes a big one, you know.
Yes. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'll say that.
Thank you so much.
We pray more people like you get into politics.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, especially through COVID, right? As none of us knew what we were doing, I spoke a lot with Mayor Mirnoff in East Windsor, Mayor Freed in Robbinsville. We literally at some points were on the call every day, the three of us. And one of them is a Democrat, one is a Republican. And it didn't matter that all three of us were different parties, right? It just mattered we were all trying to do what's best for our communities and learn from each other. And you know, that's what makes this area so great as well.
Exactly. Like when I was growing up, it didn't matter. I had Democrat, Republican friends. It didn't matter. Like it was all like at the end of the day, it didn't matter. I mean, I guess now more divided world is, but it was just, you know, we would joke and, you know.
I think at a local level, it's less divided. You know, when you're hours away in DC, you can be more divisive, right? But when you're going to see people in ShopRite, when you're going to see people in wherever, Target, right? Mayor Freed texted me this weekend wanting a pickleball challenge, right? It's hard to have a nasty relationship with somebody when you're going to see them all the time.
Exactly. That's why local government is the most effective, because you're with the constituents and we get to see you and you get to see them, versus Washington is very detached from reality.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, glad to have
Thank you so much.
No,
Mayor. Yes,
you.
I guess we hope we didn't take you much time. It's 20, 25
It was supposed to be
minutes.
for 10 minutes. I'm sorry we
For
took
10
so
minutes, but
long.
we were like
We're
just
going to
talking.
edit it. We're going to create the episode. And if you want, we can share it with Kate. Before
Please
we
share it with
publish
Kate, and we'll get it on our social medias as well.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
That would
Yes.
be really appreciating, Mayor, and really, really appreciate your time. Like I said, it's really encouraging that you were here and supporting the small businesses. And I would just want one thing that is that you're going to keep doing it more, and also
Thank you.
always encourage few people, more businesses to come to Hamilton and make
Absolutely.
Hamilton great. So yeah, on that note, thank you so much, guys. This is the end of our Micronetbd podcast. Today we had our respected Mayor Jeff with us, and to watch this video, please go to our LinkedIn and as well as our Facebook, Instagram, everything. If you guys are not following there, just go and follow. And thank you so much. See you once again with the different episode. Thank you.